Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Jamin's Daily. Dun dun dun! Flash. Episode number 7. We're going to get straight into it because I have some interesting topics to move along from one to the next with you, folks at home. Mitt Romney. Some people have heard of him. He is a senator from Utah, and he's a Republican. But he's not exactly beloved by all. And Mitt Romney thinks that the whole mail-in ballots, universal mail-in ballots, you're just going to get a ballot in the mail. Everyone's going to get it in the mail. And no signature verification. You just sign it, send it off. There's your vote. Some people don't think that's a great idea. But Mitt Romney has, again, broke out of the Republican pack Friday to challenge President Donald Trump's insistence that mail-in ballots in this election are rigged even before a single vote has been cast. And he says how he doesn't know of any evidence that voting by mail would increase voter fraud, according to Mitt Romney. He said in an interview recently. And that, and this is the reason what caught my eye, because I kind of ignore this dude. I've been trying to ignore politics in general recently because it just gives me a headache. And I realize I'm less happy when I think about it too much. But what caught my eye was Mitt Romney said this, which I think is kind of scary. He said, because he insisted it's essential that Americans' right to vote be protected. Okay? You can still go vote in person like we normally do. And there's still absentee. There's a difference between absentee voting because you have a reason and you ask and they'll send it to you and you can vote by mail that way. Absentee, different than universal mass. Everybody just gets it. He said that it's more important that just the fact that everybody gets it in the mail and everybody votes, that's actually more important than the outcome of the vote. Okay? To me, the outcome of the vote is what's most important, because then why is everybody even voting to begin with? You vote for an outcome. And this guy is saying that, well, really the outcome is not important. We're just going to make sure everybody votes. Which basically to me is code is saying, hey, it's just more important that everybody votes. And if there's some, technical difficulties and some fraud, so be it. At least everybody voted, even if they've been dead for 10 years, or vote twice, or I bet you there's gonna be in some cases more than twice. We've got to preserve the principle of democracy, or the trend we're on is going to continue to get worse. That's coming from Mitt Romney. I don't know. I don't trust the dude. I think he hasn't been right on a lot of things. And the fact that he's down with somebody convinced me otherwise, folks. Send me an email, jaminsdaily@gmail.com. Express to me why the whole universal mail-in voting is the best idea ever. I need to be persuaded. Hasn't happened yet. But I have an open mind. Speaking of how when you talk about politics, you can just step in it. Poor folks. If you're famous now, if I had a handler, if I was super famous and I had a handler who handles all my stuff, right? And then somebody wants to ask, I'm doing an interview, they want to ask me a question. My handler is going to tell their people, don't ask him about politics. He's in a movie. Ask him about the movie. Everybody gets asked now. So here's Bo Derek. I'm going to put a photo of her on here. It's going to be epic. Beautiful woman. She's reflecting, according to the interwebs, on her famous cornrows and what does the clickbait put in there so that they make sure they get a click? Donald Trump. Bo Derek reflects on her famous cornrows and Donald Trump. And then it says, I don't need my president to be my moral leader. Click All right, so I click into this stupid article. Clickbait gets me. And so she proceeds to say how Donald Trump was in a cameo of some movie many years ago. And she's trying to skate around every... the Black Lives Matter question comes up. So she said, Bo expressed hope for the country amid the Black Lives Matter movement. I think it's really rough right now. I think we're going to come out of the other side better. What happened to George Floyd? I know racism was there, but I didn't think it would be so blatant with a policeman killing somebody, knowing a video camera was rolling on him. That just blows my mind. But I do think changes are going to happen. Everybody saw the video. If you watched the video, they messed up, got messed up. Wasn't necessary. He killed that dude. He's gonna go to jail. On Trump's ability to help the country, Bo answered, I don't think he has the influence that people think he has. I don't need my president to be a moral leader. Could he have done more? I don't know. We had Obama and not much happened in that area when I look back on those 8 years. She's talking about social justice. I don't think this gets solved at the presidential level. And that is the little gem of wisdom that we get from a woman. I hate to call her elderly, but she's 70 years old or something. So senior citizen. She's correct. You shouldn't be looking too far away from your own inner circle for moral leadership. Okay? Your moral compass should be pretty squared away without the president of the United States. She was talking about, getting to the cornrows. So if you're white, you can't wear these things anymore. It's kind of a peculiar hair fashion. And Bo Derek says that she did get in trouble for it. Now. Not then, but now. That she got criticized for being a culture vulture. She said, but at that time, the reaction was very different back then. I can't tell you how many African-American women came up to me and said things like, thank you so much. I work at a bank and my boss would never let me have that hairstyle at work, but now I can. That's one way to look at it, though. I don't know. Folks at home, cultural appropriation. It's a huge topic we can go into for a long time. But I don't know. I always felt like, again, it's a free country. Wear what you want, folks. Okay? Live and let live. Wear what you want. I mean, when it comes to hairstyles, that's what everybody should just wear their hair how they want to. Moving along. Got an amazing headline for you folks. I saw this and I said, we got to look at this together. Drug dealing stripper wanted white supremacist gang to kill Texas roommate. Get a load of that. One more time. Drug dealing stripper wanted a white supremacist gang to kill Texas roommate. We got to find out what this is all about. Colin Garrett Hayden is his name. Wait. I think that is a man's name, but let's try this again because this is supposed to be about a stripper. But apparently the stripper could be a guy. Colin Garrett Hayden, a 28-year-old stripper accused of drug dealing and being a white supremacist, was sentenced to 200 months in federal prison Thursday, according to the Department of Justice. So yes, clickbait got me. Once again, the stripper is a dude, which kind of ruins it for me. But for the ladies at home, let's continue. So when authorities launched an investigation into meth trafficking out of Dallas in 2016, they say they came across Hayden and his roommate. An undercover recording allegedly captured the two trying to make a sale. Law enforcement dug deeper, revealing the scope of Hayden's dealings, including sales of meth to a buyer in Shreveport, Louisiana. Federal charges were coming, and when Hayden learned about this, he turned on his roommate and threatened to kill him. Authorities later accused Hayden of planning to use his white supremacist gang connections to carry out the murder. And he's probably going to jail and not putting a photo up of him or for the podcast. Got clickbaited. Moving along. Something more important than strippers trying to kill their roommates because they're selling drugs. Face masks. Coronavirus. This just made the news recently, folks, and I'm going to do my best to spread it out because this is a very important topic. People need to know this is a public service I'm doing right here now. Bandanas, and you know those the neck gaiter things, those look terrible on people. Those two, bandanas and the neck gaiters, may be more harmful than not wearing a mask at all. You might as well not even wear a mask if you're wearing one of those, apparently. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people are choosing neck gaiters as their go-to face covering. The ease with which it can slide up and down the face makes them a favorite among runners and hikers. Now, however, a new study suggests this lightweight, breathable fabric may be worse than blocking the coronavirus than wearing no face mask at all. Folks, what are we going to do? Researchers at Duke University, Nerd Alert, says bandanas and neck gaiters are among the worst choices for face coverings when it comes to blocking fluid droplets. Airborne droplets of saliva and aerosols emitted when one coughs, sneezes, or even speaks can cause transmission of the coronavirus. This is why the mask use and social distancing are two keys to slowing the spread. We know this. So people wear a face covering. See, from the beginning, they should have been more specific. They should have said, wear a mask. People know what a mask is. Nobody ever referred to a bandana on their face as a mask. Or those neck gaiter things. They're called neck gaiters. They're not called masks. So they should have kept with the word. Too many options is not a good thing for most people. Most people need to be told. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Isn't that what they say? Mask. It should look like a mask. So how did they find this out? And what do you do now? So for all the mask lunatics out there, if you see somebody who's not wearing a mask, then, people say something. But now, if you see them wearing a neck gaiter or a bandana, it's even worse than not wearing a mask at all. So are you going to go over there and confront them? Let me know. Get it on film. Share it with me. Send it to jaminsdaily@gmail.com. Moving along. We're going to have a new segment, folks. This is our new segment in which we are going to visit the Huffington Post for a woke moment. Dun, dun, dun. There goes fireworks. We're going to work in some cool graphic for this. The woke moment on Huffington Post. Here's the article. This is how being polyamorous prepared me for parenting. Let me repeat that. Here's how being polyamorous prepared me for being a parent. I want to dive head first. This lady, we got a photo we'll include, folks at home. She says that in my early 20s, I was passionate about polyamory, or the practice of having multiple intimate relationships, whether sexual or just romantic, with the full knowledge and consent of all parties involved. That's how Psychology Today puts it, that term. There were times I had one primary partner and other more casual secondary relationships. I was in a triad relationship where the three of us went on dates together, slept in the same bed. You must have a big bed or it's crowded. There was a year during which I maintained 3 serious relationships at once where all people involved knew about each other, and 2 of them were also dating each other. It was like a self-studied master's course in human dynamics. To me, it sounds like a lot of work. How in the heck do you do this? These people, this lady must be super organized, very ambitious to have that many relationships. Or I think what's going on here is that all these people, is it really a relationship if you're not with them all the time? It's kind of, because you're with other people. You can't be with them all at once. Maybe you can. At the time, it was the most liberating lifestyle I could imagine, says this lady. But 5 years later, after navigating my fair share of dramatic breakups and having a time-intensive full-time job, I found monogamy to be the approach to my romantic, sexual, and family life that worked and felt best for me. Okay, so now she's in a monogamous relationship with, they look like 2 women to me, but I don't know. They're 2 people together. They have kids now. And now she's going to get into how being her experience in polyamory helped her be a better parent. So, folks at home, get your notepads out, take some notes. Maybe you want to look at the time frame of this podcast so you can just jump to it later on, so you can review this important information. This lady says, 1, she breaks it down into numbers. It's going to make it real easy for me to tell you. How to balance and schedule multiple people's needs at a time. That's what I wanted to know, how the heck she was doing that. Being polyamorous taught me how to navigate the complex web of needs of multiple romantic partners. My partners and I spent countless hours discussing what we wanted, more one-on-one time, a sleepover once a week, etc., and how to make it happen within the confines of our schedules. I said, this lady, you must be very organized to do this. Everything went smoother when we were clear with what we needed for our relationships to thrive. Good communication. In my family now, I have conversations with my partner and 10-year-old daughter that are similar to those that I had with romantic partners a decade ago. We've learned that my daughter needs a daily routine to feel calm and grounded. So we write her a list of beginning with brush your teeth and ending with get in bed. My partner, the free spirit, appreciates having 1 full day per week when we don't have anything scheduled so that we can just do whatever we want as a family. And ironically, we plan when that day will be. Our toddler needs to play outside every day, or else it's impossible to put him to sleep. And I need regular alone time to maintain my sanity. The process of distilling our needs into practical, schedule-able pieces help each person get what they need and overall increases the family harmony. So she was polyamorous, had a bunch of relationships at the same time. She had to schedule those, be organized with those. And now, as a parent, she's scheduled and organized. Number 2, how to be in touch with my own feelings and prioritize them. Just be selfish, folks. I'm not going to read this whole thing. You just be selfish, more selfish. And sometimes that can be okay. Number 3. It's okay to have different feelings for different people. It's okay to have different feelings for different people. That sounds a little more interesting. Let's see what she says. It's not possible to feel exactly the same way about different people. While in many cases I loved and valued my partner to an equal degree, the quality of our connections and what I appreciated about each relationship varied immensely. With one partner, I loved to go out dancing until 2 a.m. And she always knows how to make me laugh. With another, my favorite thing to do was drink tea and read poetry. I feel differently about my 10-year-old daughter, whom I met when she was 5, than I do about my 2.5-year-old son, who I've known since he was conceived. It's not that I love him more, it's just a different relationship. My son wants to cuddle with me all night and enthusiastically jumps into my arms after only an hour apart. My daughter wants to do science experiments and explain the complexities of the Harry Potter series to me. So we're all different, folks. But being polyamorous has taught her that it's okay to feel different about different people. And I guess really don't feel guilty about your feelings, folks. Embrace them. Let me see how many more. She's got 4. How to communicate effectively. Jealousy is an onion, she says. The need to understand oppression dynamics. This is on Huffington Post, folks. This is supposed to be a woke moment, so I knew there was going to be some woke advice here. So we need to understand oppression dynamics. Race, class, and gender dynamics matter. So she's correlating being polyamorous, then being a parent, and race, class, and gender. Very confusing. How to navigate different love languages. Oh, yeah, let's find out. There are 5 love languages. And this is the fundamental ways that people in Western societies give and receive love. These love languages include words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. While there are many variations and nuances to how we love, I found this framework profoundly helpful in both polyamory and parenting. The love languages, folks. I'm going to list them for you at home. And then maybe we can work them in somehow. And we'll all be happier for it. And you can thank me, your host, Jamin, here on Jamin's Daily. Is that it? I think those are all the different helpful advice, folks. In our woke moment. Thank you, Huffington Post. Moving along to our first break. This show is brought to you by Sage Choice Insurance. You can reach them at 361-400-2411. Homeowners insurance, auto insurance, home business. We do it all. Full service, independent agency. 361-400-2411. When we get back from the break, we're going to have our final segment, which is going to be, we're going to go fishing, folks. We're just going to cast it out into the interwebs. Reel it in. Talk about it. Tie it up like my buddy ABL does. Tie it up, nice little bow. Call it a day when we get back. We're back for our final segment of Jamin's Daily, episode number 7. Here on a weekend, making shows for you folks at home, staying committed, giving you what you want. And you can let me know what it is that you would like to see on the show by emailing me at jaminsdaily@gmail.com. So while we were gone, I sent my I don't fish, so I don't even know these terms. The reel, cast the reel into the interwebs. Found something pretty. I caught a big fish here. It says that the U.S. Postal Service, folks at home, if you're not aware, loses a lot of money. Very in debt and bleeding cash. And so as part of coronavirus negotiations and things within the government, they want more money. So they're trying to cut a deal. And Trump's saying, no, we don't want to give you any money. And QAnon just told me that the Trump online store is going to sell decommissioned mailboxes. You know, I'll put a photo of it. The blue ones. The little blue R2D2 looking mailboxes. He's going to start selling them on his Trump online store so fans can own a piece of history, calling them the perfect keepsake to remember the agency. The official Trump online campaign store began selling decommissioned USPS mailboxes Friday so fans could own a piece of history for the low price of $500. Is that true, folks at home? Let me know. I don't want to be spreading misinformation on my podcast, so we must look into this. Let's see what's going on, folks. Oh man, my camera. I bought a Mac. Never had a Mac computer, guys. And so I bought one so I could do this. Right now, the iMovie, for the first time, is kind of frozen. So I'm going to just try to end the podcast, see what it ends up looking like with trying to respond to these technical difficulties, folks. I can't even see what I'm doing right now. But appreciate you staying with us. Stick with us because the best is yet to come. I can assure you of that. Have a nice day. Good weekend.